Hey everybody, what's going on? KSA Kris here, the Real Estate Blitz. I posted up an article on Facebook, a blog that I thought was absolutely fantastic, and it's about the California housing crunch. I did a previous video. It's so, call me Nostradamus. I did a video almost 2 years ago for our local community. I wrote a blog for our local community, and people thought I was a tinfoil hat guy. They thought I was crazy. And it's just so weird to see how much things have changed in a short amount of time within 2 years, and trying to watch how people are trying to address the housing crunch in California, in my opinion, is like borderline laughable. And they're the people that are putting something together are absolutely all the wrong people that need to be involved. And the reason why I do this video is because even the real estate community is trying to get involved. To talk about how it can be fixed, and it's just so goofy, and it's very simple, elementary type math to me. But let's talk about it real fast. So California, it's a housing crunch. The article that I posted up, it talks about liberals are turning on liberals in California. If you don't know, if you're not from here and you watch my videos, I know a lot of people that aren't from here watch my videos. We are a very liberal state. Not everybody here is liberal. It's just a very liberal ran state. I mean, it's just the way it is. And you have two camps more or less that are kind of happening right now. It's a very interesting adjustment. It's not just about the housing market, but it's almost everything. You have the younger millennials, which are extremely aggressive, vocal, and getting out there and engaging, which I think is wonderful. I love it. And then you have the older generation, I'll say mostly baby boomers. The Generation Xers, like myself, they're kind of in the middle. They are involved, but not active as active as I personally would like them to be. But here's the truth. In California, rents are extremely high and they're only rising. I mean, I saw something the other day. People are converting their garages in a lot of the markets that we're in. They're renting their garages for about $1,000 per month, $800 to $1,000 per month. This is in San Diego County. So I'm in San Diego County. I'm also in South Riverside County, Temecula, Murrieta, Menifee. We have offices in both counties. And, that's nowhere near what's going on in the Bay Area, where a one bedroom could still, run you around $3,000 a month. But that is still even typical down here, where a one bedroom is still going to run you $2,000 to $2,500 a month, depending on where you're at. So it's just rents are on the rise. They're already expensive, and I don't see them slowing down anytime soon, because it's just simple. Again, we were in elementary, all of us, most of us. Some of us, I don't know. And we knew that if there's a commodity that everybody wants and there's a limited supply of that commodity, guess what happens? Prices go up. That's how it works. That's, supply and demand. If there's a whole bunch, and the way I always explained it to people when we talk about housing prices, if there's a whole bunch of oranges and every human being on the planet has 5 oranges per day, how much are oranges? They're pretty much free. There's too many oranges. But if every human on the planet, like maybe can get 1 orange per year, guess how much oranges are? Really freaking expensive. Housing isn't any different. And for some reason, especially some of my more liberal friends, they can't wrap their head around that. And their fix is, well, you should just set, this is just the way the prices will always be, and that's it. So you're going to tell somebody that the value of their home with a scarcity area is only going to be worth what it is, instead of letting the market decide, which means now we move away from a, democratic, republic. I mean, depending on however you want to view it. And I don't want to make this a political thing. I just want to talk about truths. So do we draw a line and say, this is what housing is going to cost? Do we draw a line and say, here's what rent's going to cost, which is happening in New York, and California is already talking about it. And basically, long story short, with a limited supply, housing becomes really only available to the wealthy. So my concern with that is now you have a newer generation trying to get into a home, and through no fault of their own, they don't have the same opportunities to have the American dream of being a homeowner, because those opportunities don't exist. So California, in my opinion, and the people of California are to blame for this entire crisis. So right now, there's two camps. You have the YIMBYs and the NIMBYs. The last video I talked about was strictly just on the NIMBYs, and NIMBY basically stands for not in my backyard. NIMBYs are traditionally older people. I actually got a huge and I didn't want it to become like this blowout thing online, but in one of the communities, when I posted up this thing a couple years ago, a NIMBY jumped on there and just started blasting me. And my thing is, I'll respect anybody as well as they'll respect me. I'm never going to go out of my way to be mean. However, I'm not going to be run through the mud without defending myself, right? And, NIMBYs, their view is, no development. We don't want any more homes. We don't need any more homes. It's going to ruin views. It's going to ruin the natural landscapes of the environment. It's going to create more greenhouse gases. It's going to leave a heavier footprint on the planet. And they don't want new developments. They don't want new housing. And most NIMBYs deeply believe that developers, the people that build homes, are criminals. The developers are these greedy people they're just doing it for the money. So that's one camp. You have the YIMBYs, which is the yes in my backyard. It's a younger group, mostly of millennials, younger generation. And their view is, look, you got your house. Somebody built your house. Now you have the ability to live in a home, to have a house, to be a part of the community. You have the ability to not have to commute to where you work. And you can afford it, and you're making money off of your home, the longer you own it, because you have home ownership. And I can't get into it. And this is what I said earlier. The younger generation's inability to afford housing isn't a moral failure on their part. I think what a lot of people are confused about is they think that, well, if they'd go out and get a job. Here's the thing. A lot of these people have really great freaking jobs, really great jobs. So, you figure, let's say somebody can afford, and we'll talk about San Diego. So you got a job, $5,000 a month, $7,000 a month, maybe, one of the husband or wife, the other person's maybe making $2,000, $3,000 a month, so we're bringing in $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, maybe $8,000 a month. You still, in the state of California, can't really afford a home in most parts of San Diego, because you can only spend up to you can only leverage 45% of your total debt to income ratio, right? So that only leaves a small amount of money. So what ends up happening, if they do want to own a home, they got to drive usually 2 hours per day. And what a lot of the YIMBYs are saying is, if you're really concerned about greenhouse gases, if you're really concerned about the footprint on this planet, do you really believe creating basically a 2-hour one-way, so a 4-hour round trip, because 37% of the greenhouse gases out of the state of California right now are from tailpipes, from people's tailpipes, okay? So you're saying by having a select areas, because these are driven by the cities, select areas where you don't care if the prices continue to rise, you won't build. We got to drive and be forced to basically drive 4 to 6 hours. Now we're going to get deeper into gentrification, maybe. And I almost feel like I need to create another video just to talk about the after effects of not building communities and building homes in communities. They're major after effects. That's what creates the gentrification. That's what creates really a heavy impact on the planet. That's what creates destroying our infrastructure and roads. That's what creates, basically communities that actually were affluent, not being able to have the support. So, your firemen, your police officers, your school teachers, and I could keep going, because they can't even get there. They can't even afford to get there anymore. In fact, in a lot of areas, when you talk about the Bay Area, you talk about LA, even San Diego and South San Diego, it's becoming a huge epidemic. People are literally living in tents and these are people that have jobs. These are people that have good jobs. These are people that are working their asses off to try to be good Americans, because they don't have anywhere to live. They can't afford to live anywhere. So should they just pack up their tent and maybe try to go to a different state? Like, what do you do? And then, it's very, very challenging right now. So you have two different groups on both sides of the spectrum. And the younger group doesn't have the ability to actually, experience this American dream. And it also is a heavy effect as they start building, when it comes to low income people. So long story short, California's in trouble. In my opinion, the only way to fix the problem is to build. We got to build. Have to build. There's no fixing it. The costs of homes right now, in my opinion, we're in a very unhealthy market, and a lot of agents would disagree with me. They're like, "What are you talking about? Houses on the rise. Houses sell within 2 days." That's not a healthy market. That's not a healthy market. That is a market that is predispositioned to crash and burn. It's just a matter of when. There will be a natural adjustment, and when it does, it's going to be pretty horrific, and it's going to hurt really freaking bad. But just kind of is what it is. So anyways, I'm going to keep this short. I might do some future videos on gentrification, what it is, how it works, even like greenhouse gases. I'm a big proponent of building and developing. I think it's a need and a requirement. I think it's almost criminal that local governments have created such a stringent situation that the next generation, they're just basically being told to go screw off. We don't care, but we still want you to come and feed us when we show up at the restaurant. We still want you to clean up our streets. We still want you to, and these are people with degrees, man. It's baffling to me. It's baffling to me. But anyways, California crisis. It's a very challenging situation. Everybody has their view. If you have a view, I'd love to hear your view. Please do me a favor. Pop it up, man. Pop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your input on this one. I love the arguments. We call it debates, but most of the time it always ends up in an argument because, unfortunately, a lot of people can't divide their political views from just looking at this as a truth. We're in trouble and a situation and trying to come up with solutions. So if you're going to leave a comment, don't start throwing up your political views. Just throw up solutions or potential solutions or why you back no solution, which in my opinion, not building is just saying we don't want a solution. Just screw the people that don't have a house. And that's how I view it. But anyways, that's all I got. Appreciate y'all. Like, share, comment, and see y'all later.